What's my personal learning environment and how I use it? Actually, I don't know. I really don't know what my personal environment is, and I never really think about it in these terms. So it's quite fun because it's very easy to kind of talk about PLE, but I never really I don't really know. I know that in everything that I do, there's some learning, even if not always the greatest lesson or the lesson that you had expected. So not always positive, but um, I think if we talk about personal learning environments uh, as tools and as approaches to how I learn in spaces where I learn, then I think the web has played a major role. And if I look back when I was an undergraduate, gosh, I only had the library, and I didn't even have like a lot of physical connections that I could tap into because I'm the first person in my family to go to university, and they didn't know what the heck I was doing. Actually, they thought I should leave school and start a real job. So in that sense. I was very limited by then, and I remember because I studied languages, how frustrated I was that I couldn't even tap into a German radio. So I used to kind of ask my cousins to send me music, German music, and then I bought a satellite dish so I could watch German TV, and those were platforms for me at the time, the technology at the time, and for English I had pen friends. So having the web now as a new space where I can learn, that's been as really radically transformed transformed my life, and the implications are not only at the professional level but at the personal level as well, because I do create affinities with people that do go beyond any learning links. So there's a lot of friendships being developed in that way as well, and maybe that's not the way you want me to go with this question, but so what I would like to say is right now Twitter works for me. My blog has worked for me, although I have stopped blogging now. Well, let's call it a hiatus, because I will be coming back soon. Shall I pass my PhD? But right now, I don't really have the headspace to be blogging and writing a dissertation and going to work. So but those are spaces that help me personally, and then there are other spaces like other people's blogs and other in the discussion for that people create, or another thing that I find very useful is when people broadcast someone else's presentation, and I do attend it remotely. So those are the spaces, and of course there are tools behind them that help me learn and connect. And this all sounds a little bit cliche, but the truth is, if I didn't have this possibility, I probably wouldn't be here today. I probably would be doing a very different job than I am today, because I do owe what I have learned and what I'm still learning to all the people around the world that enable me to learn with them. So the richness of being online is quite something. And of course, there are tools that support. So to to keep it short, and I just go back to the question again. And as you can see, I have another technological, or maybe you can't see, but I have another technological device here, so I can read the questions without having to move the camera, because I'm doing not moving the camera, but I don't want to lose the sight here. So what is my digital and personal learning environment? I I don't know, but Twitter works for me. The blog works for me. Uh, Occasional discussion forum mailing list. So right now I'm passively, and so that again, if we go back to other questions that I have answered here today, I don't think people know I'm there and I don't belong there yet. I'm passively following the open badges discussions on the Gmail list. Um, and I'm looking at their hashtag. So those are very very common tools that I'm using at the moment. But I also like to go into Flickr and see what people are doing there, because sometimes I learn from that. SlideShare is also a great one, and I've learned a great deal about creating SlideShares just by following people that create great presentations in there. And I think I've been developing, and I know I'm still very very early in this at my game in this part, but by watching YouTube keynote speeches, I've kind of been trying to develop a more appropriate style for a keynote, because uh, I think a keynote speech is a different style from a paper presentation, and some people do have the gift of doing that, and I'm not sure I'm there yet, but it's interesting to look at what other people do. So there are all these spaces, and I'm sure I use even more spaces, and there are other spaces I'll be using in the future. So the other thing for me is this digital learning environment that I appropriate for to meet my style, and this is a style that also changes with time, and changes also because my networks also move on to other tools, is not static, and it evolves because I feel different needs or I have different needs at given points. Also because the people that I follow move on to other tools, so I have to follow them if I want to keep relevant in those discussions. And also because I'm curious about trying to give it a go and try things that are coming out. So right now I'm quite excited about a timeline that hasn't yet been released, and I'm really looking forward to play with that interactive timeline once the tool is released, if it does. So I'm already planning my next move, but I don't know if it's gonna work, because if my network doesn't tap into it, then it might not be as relevant. So I think this was a very long answer. Have a great time at the VLE conference, and I'm really sorry that I'm not there this year. I wish I was, but I have a good excuse. I'm writing up my PhD, and I hope to be done very, very soon. So have a great time, people. Enjoy Aveiro, eat some ovos moles, and take some pictures so I can see. Bye.